What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. In today's video, I'm going to go over an awesome game I had in the Hindenburg the other day and really just kind of talk about how much fun I actually have in this ship. This is when you think about like high tier cruises. I feel like the Hindenburg doesn't get as much love as the other ones do. It's kind of almost like the forgotten cruiser, in my opinion, because when you think of high tiers, you know, Des Moines for its radar, you think about the Zao, you think about the Moskva just being this massive ship, and then there's kind of like the Hindenburg or the Minotaur, of course, being its smoke spammy ship that it is, and the Hindenburg's kind of just like hiding behind, and really, and even when I play tier 10s, it's kind of forgotten about, you know. But this ship is so much fun to play, and when I do play it, it's like, why don't I play this ship more? It's a blast, it's awesome, it wrecks everything, and it can tank actually pretty well, and of course it has torpedoes, which is an awesome extra weapon. This game, just like every game I basically play with this, it's just like, wow, this thing is crazy. It does so much damage, and I need to start playing this thing more. And this game was just amazing about how much damage I did and just how hard this thing hit. Now, of course, the German line is known for its AP. I tend to use HE a decent amount because just in long range, the fire chance is still actually pretty solid with this thing, and it just has really low trajectory, really decent fire rate, and even still a high fire chance. Of course, AP when it's the right time for it, and we'll of course see that later in the game, but I tend to stick with HE kind of at long range just to kind of focus on it. But you can still dunk on stuff, cruisers at long range, especially if you do catch maybe a Neptune or a Minotaur. Broadside, even at long range, you can absolutely just destroy with that German AP. So this thing is super brutal. I'm running full a full A build, and we'll go over the builds I run after this game. But right now, let's check this out. And kind of pushing up this side, what I like to do is, this is one of the spawns for divisions, so we tend to kind of stick here, but I was kind of hugging the outside a little bit. I know I have the range, I know I can hit this, and so I'm kind of trying to just figure out where this team is. With them only having 2 DDs, it was really nice, and I wasn't getting spotted, and either was the Yamato behind me. So just trying to pick on this curve first, maybe get a fire on him. Most battleships don't really repair one fire, so I was hoping maybe sneak a fire on this guy and then kind of push in, and maybe he'll just like sit on it. He did repair the instant fire, so I was hoping maybe get one more on this guy and just start racking up the damage. I mean, with this, like the Moskva, the Zao, the Hindenburg, they all have very, very low trajectory shells, so it's really easy to hit stuff kind of at max range with this thing. So you can actually use and abuse this fire rate and its accuracy, basically. I really do enjoy this. Now, you could say to yourself, why aren't you shooting AP on this? It's the main thing is, if he does turn a little bit more, I mean, I probably would have hit a much bigger hit right here if I was shooting AP, but just because I get a little lazy, I guess, I might as well just stick with HE and just try to pump out as much damage as possible on these guys. As you can see, I switched out the AP for one salvo, but like he turned away, so if I got any hits, it would have been even better probably for HE right there. But really just trying to put on some pressure, and really we kind of got their whole team. Our Yamato is just gonna start pushing up, so I was like, all right, I'll just roll with you. We still didn't really know exactly where all their DDs were. None of the DDs had been spotted at this point, so we were still a little worried. And I think they're both Shimikazes. Yeah, they're both Shimikazes, so they're pretty brutal if they are caught kind of without expecting them. But worked on the battleships a little bit. They're kind of running away, getting at max range, and so we're just going to focus on the one thing that's in range, which is going to be this rune, and then just kind of push towards the enemy team and really put a lot of pressure on. If you get a Yamato and you get a Hindenburg and you get these really strong ships on a flank, you really need to take care of these ships, and there's the first shimmer right there. So we know we're pretty safe. One, they're probably running together, so if there's no shimmers on the side, we can just be really aggressive. So that's kind of what we did, and it ends up really working for us. Of course, a friendly little bump for this Montana. I wasn't paying attention, but he was shooting HE anyway, so maybe he wasn't paying attention. So but really just gonna punch in, take out this fire breather of a rune. Rune's insanely good at tier 9 as well, and really just try to do take out this threat basically, and then start working on. So he's gonna start giving me a pretty good broadside here too. And I don't know if I switched to AP right here, just because he repaired the first fire, so it's really good. You know, a broadside salvo against a cruiser with the German AP is just so ridiculously strong, and he's gonna be sitting on that fire. I think I get like one more here too, and a little bit more damage, but I think he has 1 or 2 fires on him already, so he's in a pretty brutal state. We just want to make sure that they die. I think this is a lot of people, and I've been kind of the fault of it recently too, is I put too much faith in some people to finish off ships. Now he's gonna burn out. He doesn't have repair, I know that, but it's just so important to work on to finish ships. People really need. Too many times I have like started playing and then tried to, okay, that guy's gonna die, he's gonna burn out, and then you look back later in the game, that guy's still alive and he healed up. I've really gotten back into like the basics of just finishing ships. Even if I see a ship with 1 health, I'm willing to use an entire salvo with the battleship, entire salvo with the cruiser, just to kill that 1 health. So, and this is one of the other situations right here is if that Edinburgh was broadside, it's a really good chance to just absolutely destroy him with the AP of the Hindenburg. Those 203s just are absolutely crazy strong. I mean, just the damage you can pump out is just absolutely nuts. So right now, kind of mediocre damage. We're just kind of working on the flank. Everything's kind of running away, so we're just trying to kind of put some pressure on these guys and push them into those corners. You can see their whole team is basically just kind of sitting on the south side. And I think this is the game we had one Shima just go absolutely ham on these guys. So it was pretty awesome. We're really just trying to kind of keep the islands in between all these battleships, because I still am a cruiser, so you got to be a little careful. But just trying to pump out fires on these guys and just rack up those damage. Rack up those damage ticks. What I'll try to do a lot of times is battleships tend to let 1 fire stick. They may even let 2 fires stick if they have the ability to. So if there are multiple battleships, what I'll do is I'll end up getting 1 fire on 1 guy, move to the next guy, fire on the next guy, you know, and kind of work on that a little bit. Because if they are all, you know, if they're gonna let all those fires sit on them, then you have the potential of getting like 3 or 4 fires going at one time, and your damage is going to be absolutely crazy and keeping the pressure up. This is one of the situations where I was kind of getting a little bummed out. As you saw, we had that Chapayev just push right into those guys without using any kind of cover, so he died. We lost another guy, so we're down 3 ships to 1 right now. 3 of our cruisers to 1 of their cruisers, but I still felt like we were okay. We had the DD advantage. We had, and of course, our Shimakaze just absolutely murdered that Tirpitz. But they aren't in a very good spot to push cap. And, you know, we're pretty healthy. The big ships are healthy. So even though we lost a few guys, we're kind of, I figured we're going to be okay. And just like that, our Shimakaze. I mean, I think this guy had, like, an insane amount. He had, like, 2 kills right here and 1 torp salvage. So we killed a Tirpitz and a freaking... Edinburgh as well. So right there we just got back up. But before we even got those kills, I felt like we were doing okay, even though we're only sitting on 32,000 life. But we're about to get broadside to all these battleships, and really these guys kind of work with us perfectly with some cover and kind of rotate up as we're rotating down. So it is kind of nice. But again, a lot of this game was us kind of just chasing them, pushing this side. And so I was trying to figure out like what the best, should I work on this NorCal, should I get around? And I looked over here, and we had 2 cruisers, 2 of their cruisers just absolutely broadside to me. So I was able to hopefully pump in some damage on these guys, which was pretty nice. Just a broadside Yamato, broadside, especially broadside cruiser, any of those guys that are just chilling there, you're gonna absolutely demolish with that Hindenburg AP. The damage you can pump out on this thing is just, I've said that too many times, but it's absolutely crazy. If you guys haven't worked on this line at all, I feel like the line is pretty mediocre, kind of mid-tier. The hipper is when the line starts to get pretty freaking strong. And then, in my opinion, the Rune and the Hindenburg are some of the best tier 9s and tier 10s in the game. The Rune is so much fun. I had an absolute blast playing it when I was going through it, and I kept it. You know, I tend to keep a lot of the ships that at tier 9s that I like, you know, have with the extra credits and whatnot. So, the Rune is definitely a keeper in my opinion, and the Hindenburg is just an absolute blast. So, worked on those cruisers a little bit, and we're trying to just work on this guy, Yamato, and a Hindenburg against the NorCal isn't going to last very long for that guy. And even with him kind of angled, we're still getting like full pen damage. Still full pen damage on a NorCal. So it's pretty freaking awesome. I think he like kind of turns, oh yeah, the Montana. That Montana stole 2 kills from me that game. He stole the Rune with like, I don't know, 1,000 life left, and then he stole that guy. So I remember I was a little bummed because I didn't get more kills this game. But this is like, this is the strength of the German AP. A 10k salvo on that Yamato. 10k. Broadside Yamato just absolutely farmed. Insane damage. well, what, every 9 point something seconds. So pretty freaking nutty. I mean, look at all these broadside ships. It's just like a shooting gallery right now. Especially a Yamato. I mean, that's, you're gonna be able to farm the most damage. I mean, 6k salvos, 10k salvos. I mean, that's absolutely insane. This ship's a blast. You guys need to definitely play this if you guys haven't. But right now, I'm trying to look for as much damage as I can and try to wreck these guys. And the battleship's going broadside. The Missouri was pretty low, so I wanted to focus him and potentially get him out of the game. You can actually Citadel battleships at relatively close ranges. If you've ever played any of the high tier 203 firing ships, you can actually Citadel them. And even at long range, the 203s on the Hindenburg can actually Citadel ships too. So I was hopefully trying, that's why I was aiming a bit lower on the Missouri, trying to get those Citadel hits, but I wasn't quite able to. But like 8,200 damage, that is absolutely nutty. And on top of that, this ship has an insane amount of AA as well. Basically a no-fly zone. For any kind of planes that they wanted to. So again, our Shima gets a double strike, just goes absolutely insane on these guys. I think he ends up getting like 6 at the end. But I mean, just look at that. Just look at that damage. The AP damage is so. Who needs HE when you can just dunk on a Yamato for 10k every salvo? It's just like, what is going on right now? And so. Working on those guys, they're all sailing broadside for me, and I'm seeing my Yamato kind of pushing up, so I'm trying to help him. Basically, I was like, I'll take out the Shima. I thought he was going to ram the Kurfürst, and he ends up getting a bit of a bad situation where the Kurfürst kind of lulls on him, saying, German engineering, we're going to win this one. Had the Montana off to my left, so I felt pretty good, but he just absolutely dunks on him, so instead of me just pushing up and getting this Shimakaze, it's now me going, oh crap, there's a big bad battleship right here, and this is not going to be good. Although we did have the NorCal, or the Montana right next to me, which was good, but I was going to focus on the destroyer to get that kill. It was a big kill, and I was going to launch the torpedoes on this guy, so kind of try to get maybe even the double strike if possible, but mainly need to get that DD out of the game, get him dead, and launch the torps on this guy and kind of just hopefully not die, because if I die on top of that, this guy is just going to absolutely get the trade of his life. A Yamato and a Hindenburg, basically 1-for-1. And luckily we got right there. We found out where the other Shima was. So I felt pretty good kind of pushing this way, but I had to get back and try to save that Yamato, or the Montana right there. So try to put one last little bit of damage there, and I was just going to push forward. I wasn't super excited that the Yamato was going to be right there, because he was probably going to be pissed at me for pumping in a ton of damage. But I figured I would just push straight and not really worry about it, and hopefully have some help with these guys. And I was like, you know what? This thing can tank pretty well. Although it is Yamato, it can just lol pen everything. I was just going to go straight on. The Hindenburg is pretty freaking narrow, and just try to rip this guy up as fast as I can. Hopefully get some help from the team, and luckily we do. But even just my 2 front guns, look how much damage I'm doing against this broadside Yamato. 5k salvos, just front on. Who needs HE? Who needs HE when you have AP? I mean, it's absolutely nuts. So I'm glad I didn't push too aggressive on this guy. He was kind of holding his shot, and boom, there you go. Our Shimakaze gets another kill on that guy. There's his Kraken. So only 2 for us, so he was stealing all the kills. But I felt pretty good, though, and this is another strong point of priority target if people aren't really pro priority target, I guess. This kind of showed me, I figured that Shimakaze was focused on me, and it showed that the Yamato, I had 2 at one point and now only had 1, wasn't focused on me, so I was able to start moving and then push up. And I was hoping my 6-kilometer torps would maybe get a aggressive Shimakaze and hopefully maybe take him out and then not have to worry about him. But gonna help the team focus down this Yamato. He's almost dead, and then it's me versus this Hindenburg. One thing was I could keep going forward and use the island as cover, and there's the Shimakaze right there. So I had to kill him too. So these are 2 pretty scary ships. A Shimakaze, I'm getting close, and a Hindenburg off there who's basically full life as well. So, and I was still hoping that that Yamato wouldn't just maybe one-shot me. So there's the Shimakaze, decent amount of health, and just gonna absolutely wreck him. He is in secondary range, and I stuck with AP for a while. I don't know why I didn't switch. I think I switched after this salvo. But just what nice little, let's see what we get right here. in another little, maybe like in 2 salvos, about 8k damage on that guy. So he's of course gonna be launching torps. I'm gonna get out of the way. We got 122,000 damage, and we still have to deal with 2 more deadly ships. So the Shima probably burned his torps there. So I feel like I was pretty good. Just gonna get away from that situation and focus on this Hindenburg. Unluckily, he shut down my plane, so we didn't really have the vision on him anymore. But we do kind of know where he is, and he is still shooting. And let's just compare the HE damage versus the AP damage. Hindenburg versus Hindenburg. He has the health. So there's 1 salvo. So let's see how much he pops up with after that first salvo. Feels kind of bad, man. So he's sticking with HE, gonna sail nice and broadside for me. I'm gonna keep pushing him. Look how accurate that is, man. Another 17k salvo, not even a citadel there. And did he switch to AP? Let's see, chat. That's still an HE salvo. That is not gonna work for you, man. You gotta roll AP with that Hindenburg. So I decided to switch over to the Shima, try to take him out while we can even see him. That was one of the main problems about this. I was worried about just not even seeing him, and the Hindenburg was just like, you know what, you've done a decent amount of damage to me. I'm gonna give you a better broadside so you can just get a little bit more damage out of that salvo. So appreciate that, Hindenburg. And AP wins. AP wins, especially in this ship. So just like that, he's let me rack up what, another 40, 50k damage, and I was hoping that one, I could just live through this, torpedo beat if I can. And of course we did. So 1 more salvo and the Hindenburg's gonna be dead. We're taking a little bit extra damage, so he probably launched torps. I'm not too worried about it. But there goes the Hindenburg, and the Shimakaze is left. We're full on. We'll go full HE this time. So as long as this guy just doesn't get random torps on me, I should be okay. And the Shimakaze is just really aggressive. I'm surprised he didn't do too much this entire game, and all of a sudden he's just like, he's full gunboat. Full gunboat this game. So 179k. We're gonna keep shooting at this guy. I mean, just HE is good on this ship, the AP is good on this ship, everything is good, and either he had torpedoes coming up or something, because all of a sudden he started to go a bit quiet on his guns and used his repair, and I popped the plane, so hopefully the plane will spot him 1 more time. It doesn't matter. So there we go. Insane game, over 180k, 3 kills or 4 kills. And let's bounce over to the port and I'll show you guys what I run. So for my Hindenburg, this is what I am going to be running. I run basically everything AA besides the 3rd slot. I like that extra range. I'm going to be running, of course, the full premium consumables with the spotter plane instead of the catapult, and the AA over acoustic. Now, I figure that the Hindenburg has insane AA, and acoustic is also really good for destroyers against torpedoes and stuff like that. But I figured I would run this because it was basically going to save your life instead of a potential to maybe help out with a torp or something like that. So that's why I go AA instead of that. But of course, run all the premiums. For all the tier 10s, you want as much help as possible. And I'm running main armament mod 1. This is going to help with both main bats and the torpedo tubes. Running AA mod, of course, you want an extra range. Now this I run instead of an even more AA, which you could get more AA. I run the gunfire control system for the extra firing range. I feel like this is actually really nice, and you can absolutely be a beast from full range. So I'm able to shoot almost 21 kilometers with this thing. So you're like battleship range almost. So I really do like this. It's super accurate. You know, if you get something like a Minotaur or Des Moines, it's kind of hard to hit stuff at max range, but with the Hindenburg, it's very, very easy. So I enjoy that extra bit of firing range. Lowering down the fire chance and flooding chance, I think that's pretty simple right there. I guess you tend to lose propulsion a little bit on the German cruisers and steering, so you could do one of those. We see that, but I like the lower chance of fire and flood. Turning, rudder shift, so we're going to be going that, and then concealment. Then for my captain, I run a kind of a basic concealment, a very, very just basic build. This is a 17-point captain, so actually only 16 points, but I have a 17th point. Priority target, I feel like this is a must for all cruisers. I'm going to grab expert marksmanship. Really, really do like that extra a little bit quicker of turrets for the Germans. Now I do grab this for the extra heal and AA. You could easily grab, let's say, vigilance, or even grab a demo expert. I'll probably do that when I get 1 more point on this. I'll grab demo expert, or 2 more points. Grab demo expert and just then maybe like preventative maintenance at 19. I grab concealment first, and then I grabbed advanced firing chain and then adrenaline rush. So this is my basic build, guys. I mean, we had 187k, almost a crack game, 4 kills. the Hindenburg is just one of those ships I just forget about, and then when I play it, I'm like, why am I not playing the ship? It's so much fun. So if you guys are going down the German line, enjoy it. It's a blast. The York is kind of a meh ship in the line, but trust me, the light at the end of the tunnel, this thing is worth it. It's a beast. Enjoy it. Good luck, guys. That is it from me. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.